This presentation, Dismantling the God of Sickness, distills key ideas from Chapter 10, Section 3. We will examine how the mind constructs an illusory power in sickness, how this affects our psychology, and how a shift in perception restores wholeness and genuine health. We often build inner idols from our own sense of vulnerability. When we attack ourselves, we are really attacking a false self-image we secretly despise. Though the idol is unreal, the psychological impact is serious. We begin to live as if we are children of a God whose power is sickness. Here we map the anatomy of a sick God. It is self-created, claiming to replace the creator, seemingly self-sufficient, cut off from others, vicious, always defending and attacking, and deeply vulnerable, fearing decay and loss. Any such God is only an idol, mirroring the fear of its maker. Self-attack follows a clear inner sequence. First, the mind fears its own creative source. Next, it projects this fear outward and identifies with the body. The body then becomes a fragile idol, apparently open to harm. Finally, sickness appears, seeming to prove that our power has been lost. The ego uses magic to reconcile what cannot be reconciled. It accepts sickness as real and then seeks worldly fixes, keeping us tied to vulnerability. True religion instead recognizes that perfection and sickness cannot coexist. If we are created perfect, sickness must be an illusion to release. The ego's ultimate bluff is to convince us we fear a terrifying nothingness if we let go of the idol of sickness. In reality, we are afraid of nothing at all, because the idol is empty. Awakening exposes this illusion. There is literally no threat, and in that realization, genuine healing occurs. A divided mind imagines many competing powers and so feels out of control. In truth, the sonship, our shared spiritual identity, cannot be partly sick or fragmented. When we define mind correctly as one, we see that it cannot be split or confined to a single vulnerable body. This table contrasts two paradigms. The God of sickness, or ego, is self-made, vulnerable, and operates through magic and guilt, yielding pain and death. The God of wholeness, or spirit, is created by God, invulnerable and unified, working through miracles and shared mind, producing healing. Health is presented as the earthly reflection of heavenly value. In heaven, there is no idolatry, only appreciation for every creation. When we mirror that appreciation here, truly valuing ourselves and others, health follows. When we fail to value ourselves, we invite sickness instead. Healing restores forgotten worth. When someone is sick, the core issue is self-devaluation. Your contribution is not personal merit, but steadfast love. By valuing your brother when he cannot value himself, you help him remember the single, shared worth of God's Son, which heals you both. Miracles follow 3 inner steps. First, we reject the idol by refusing to share in the belief in sickness. Second, we make an act of faith, affirming our brother's purity and invulnerability. Third, we call to spirit, joining with the truth in his mind and strengthening it until healing dawns. The indivisible spark symbolizes the shared light in every mind. Because all minds were lit by the same divine source, the clarity of one can illuminate another. This interconnectedness means healing is never isolated. It radiates across the entire network of minds and is ultimately eternal. Healing occurs through shared mind. We do not side with sickness, even when a brother believes in his weakness. We do not validate the idol by agreeing he is truly sick. Instead, we gently remind him of his wholeness, recognizing him as part of God and teaching him the truth about himself. The error behind sickness is resolved through 3 insights. First, you cannot be truly sick if you know your eternal value. Second, sickness is a psychological illusion of forgotten worth, projected onto the body. Third, you remember your value by affirming your brother's invulnerability. Refusing to worship the idol of sickness is not a battle with God, but a decision within your own mind. Attacking the idol only makes it seem real. When you simply withdraw belief, whatever form the idol takes, it quietly disappears back into the nothingness from which it arose.